much of the world, we devotees of cars and motorcycles are a strange breed. We see beauty, they only see nuts and bolts. We see sensuous curves, and they see only sheet metal. But Lisa Barrow recently found some evidence that that uneducated world may slowly be coming around.
Art can be defined in many ways, but few of the top museums have ever defined motorcycles as art. Until now. Here at the Guggenheim Museum in New York City, the Art of the Motorcycle exhibit is one of the most impressive collection of bikes that we've ever seen.
The Guggenheim Museum was looking to do a major survey of the 20th century through either through art or through a design object. And Thomas Krenz, the director of the museum, wanted to somehow reflect the big themes of the century, the big cultural themes. And if you think of the literature, of the music, of the film in our century, you think of some of the great themes that run through that culture. They are love, death, sex, adventure, speed, liberty, personal liberty. Mobility is a great theme of the century. Danger, inevitably. And these themes seem to somehow be encapsulated in the motorcycle in a unique way.
The BMW-sponsored exhibit is chronologically laid out, showcasing 111 bikes. It begins in 1868 with the French-built Michaud Perrault, a bicycle powered by a steam engine that achieved a top speed of 19 miles per hour. In 1907, the amazing Curtiss V8 dashed across a beach in Florida at 136 miles per hour, setting a new land speed record. The overhead cam Cyclone was introduced in 1914 and wowed crowds with its then futuristic design. Originally an aircraft engine manufacturer, BMW began building motorcycles with airplane engine parts in 1920. But it was the R32 produced in 1923 that put BMW on the map as a motorcycle manufacturer. Perhaps the most unorthodox bike shown is the 1925 Burmerland. With seating for 3, only 1,000 were made, and some models stretched 10 feet in length. Lawrence of Arabia met his death on a Bruff Superior SS100 in 1935. Long considered the Rolls-Royce of motorcycles, it was guaranteed to go 100 miles per hour. On hand to fill us in on a few more bikes is famous bike mechanic Nobby Clark, who has wrenched for some of the top racing teams and riders.
I think my favorite 3 motorcycles here, the one is the Magola, which is German. As a design exercise, I think it's quite outstanding. When one considers in those days there was no computers, and the machining was must have been difficult, because the machining today makes life a lot easier. The next one is the French Majestic. I think the designer must have been quite incredible, with so many incredible designs on the machine. Like hub steering, for instance, it's fairly streamlined for its age. And the other bike is the Briton, which the late John Britton made. As an individual, I think he was a genius. A one-man show to take on the Japanese and beat them at their own game.
The Japanese manufacturers were a force to be reckoned with, but some emerged from very humble beginnings.
When Honda wanted to break into the American market, he knew he had to contradict the widespread image of the rebel biker. And he did it with this bike. He also did it with the advertising campaign, which said, "You meet the nicest people on a Honda." And that worked, and it established Honda in the market in America. You know, Harley-Davidson is one of the great names, not only of American bikes, but in the world, and deservedly so. Willie G. Davidson, grandson of the founder and the current head of design, has done more really to bring Harley-Davidson to its present position than just about anybody. This is his Super Glide night train from the 70s, and it kind of is to motorbiking of the 70s what Saturday Night Fever is to films.
More recent bikes to hit the scene: the 1982 Suzuki Katana, which pushed style to the extreme, the 1995 Aprilia Moto 6.5, and the striking 1998 MV Agusta F4.
I'd like people to come away from the museum with 2 feelings, really. Of course, one, I'd like them to feel that they've seen something of the beauty of the design of motorcycles over 130-something years, and maybe share in some of those qualities, you know, the sexiness and the feeling of danger and the feeling of freedom and feeling of speed. But the other thing I'd like them to feel is I'd like them to feel as if they wanted to go for a ride, frankly.
From the very first steam-powered two-wheeler to the very latest sport bike, one tour of the Art of the Motorcycle exhibit, and you'll definitely feel like going for a ride.
The Art of the Motorcycle has finished its New York and American run, and it's now in sunny Spain.